We are continuing our special series, Blocked and Banned, Social Media Censorship of the Right. Our next guest is one of the foremost young conservative voices in America. Last month, she sent a tweet, get this, encouraging the people of Michigan to stand up to the governor's shutdown orders and go to work. Apparently, at Gov Whitmer believes that she is a duly elected dictator of a socialist country. The people of Michigan need to stand up to her. Open your businesses. Go to work. The police think she's crazy too. They are not going to arrest 10 million people for going to work. Now, Twitter said that that tweet violated their COVID-19 misinformation policy. The tweet was deleted, and Candace had to serve what they call a timeout before her profile was back up and running. Joining us now, apparently out of her timeout, is Candace Owens, author of the book Blackout: How Black America Can Make Its Second Escape from the Democratic Plantation. Candace, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I hope you learned a lot during your time out. Did you wonder what the heck were they doing? I still don't understand what your tweet did about what misinformation it had regarding COVID-19.
It did not even discuss COVID-19. It just discussed the tactics of the governor, who was formally abusing her powers and, ignoring the state legislature vote, and, a call to action in the most peaceful way possible to say, simply go to work. When you get to a point in your country where telling people to go to work is considered something that's dangerous or something that you're not allowed to say, we should really be talking about where we're at, where we are at in America, where they can censor your speech and remove you from your platform for saying something as basic as go to work.
So obviously this wasn't the first time, right? I mean, how often does something like this happen to you?
I would say I've been on Twitter. I have been in a suspension probably only 2 other times, and each time it was reversed. I think this time was really extraordinary because it wasn't reversed. And what was extraordinary about it is that we have seen in so many different instances where the left tells people to flat out avoid the orders that Trump says, to flat out hide people that are illegal immigrants, right? To ignore and to warn people that ICE people are coming, and all of that the ICE people are coming. And all of that is considered okay, and it's sanctioned on that platform. Antifa holds multiple handles, where they get to meet up and decide where they're going to riot. All of that is okay on that platform. But somebody saying go to work, Twitter making a decision that the governor is allowed to make rules, and we're going to stand by this governor's rules, and people are not allowed to protest, a peaceful protest, go to work. I wasn't saying assemble outside of the governor's mansion and go after her. I said go to work. And they said that that's not okay. So it lets you know that they really have updated themselves to a publisher status. And it's a leftist publisher is what we're talking about on Twitter.
Candace, besides being vocal about it, have you tried to take any recourse?
I did not with Twitter. Actually, at the same time, it was a perfect storm where Facebook had censored me and had labeled what I had posted about COVID-19 to be fake news. And it wasn't fake news. It was me talking about the manner that they calculate deaths. And I dropped an article from a very well-respected epidemiologist who was saying that the death counts are completely bogus because they are counting people that die with COVID-19 in their system, even if they're asymptomatic. And that information was verified also by public health officials in multiple states, and they decided to take that information and to say that it was fake news. When I looked into it, they're independent fact checkers, which is what our president is talking about with these fact checkers. The fact checkers were 2 former CNN editors of 26 years who opened an LLC 1 year ago, and somehow Facebook allowed them to become their #1 independent fact checkers. So I lawyered up. And I am pursuing Facebook in court, not yet Twitter. Again, I think Facebook is actually a worse culprit than Twitter is in many ways. But you got to start somewhere. So I'm starting with Facebook.
Candace, it's so good to see you. And thank you for sharing your story with us and your experience.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Well, social media censoring of conservative viewpoints is not a new conversation. It has been happening for a while, actually. Check out this tweet from Live Action's Lila Rose from a couple years ago. Quote, @Jack says Twitter does not ban based on viewpoint or ideology. He's wrong. My account and Live Action's accounts have been banned for advertising for years because we're pro-life. Twitter told our videos, tweets, and even our website content is inflammatory. End quote. In the meantime, Live Action has actually reached 1 billion views. Joining us now is Lila Rose, founder and president of the pro-life and human rights organization Live Action. Lila, thanks for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, well, something I thought that was really interesting about your situation is that Twitter actually went beyond their platform and actually asked you to take down content on your website to say, once you do that, then you can go and post on our platform if you adhere to our rules, and projecting them on your website as well. Can you tell us about that? Is that an accurate interpretation, and how did that happen?
Sure, and we have this in writing. So basically, this was now 5 years ago. Live Action and my promotion accounts on Twitter were blocked, and they were blocked for months, and we kept communicating with Twitter services saying, why is this happening? How do we fix this? Meanwhile, Planned Parenthood and abortion groups were freely advertising on Twitter. Finally, we got in touch with their customer service, with their ad representatives, and we had discussions with them. And then in writing, we were informed that until Live Action scrubbed our website of content that had to do with abortion, criticizing Planned Parenthood, the biggest abortion chain, ultrasound content, and until we actually deleted these tweets, and these are tweets that were flagged that were a person's a person no matter how small, or tweets that showed embryology, the development of the child in the womb, we were told by Twitter until we deleted those tweets and scrubbed our website of pro-life material, our ad account would not be reinstated. And again, Planned Parenthood continues to be allowed to advertise.
Is it the content or the graphic part of it that they have a problem, or both?
Both. And we were posting stories that talked about the graphic brutality of abortion, but these were things as simple as Dr. Seuss quotes saying that a person is a person no matter how small, or images of ultrasound. Those were flagged by Twitter as being inflammatory and against their supposed terms of use, which is false. Nothing in their terms of use says that you can't be pro-life or talk about the violence of abortion or the beauty and the humanity of the preborn child. So they wanted us to scrub our entire website and our entire Twitter feed of any content related to ultrasound, embryos in the womb, advocacy against Planned Parenthood they called inflammatory, and the double standard is crystal clear. I mean, Twitter is acting in this case like a publisher, not like a platform, and they should no longer receive the protections of a publisher, which is what they're currently operating with.
But just to be clear, like when you go look at the Planned Parenthood feed, I assume that they do all of this same kind of stuff, but they don't get banned.
Well, they're the biggest abortion chain. So they're selling abortions on Twitter. They're selling their brand on Twitter, as well as advocating for abortion, saying it's a women's right, saying that women need abortions, abortion is safe. So they're educating in their own way, their own propaganda about abortion, and they're allowed to promote those tweets. They're allowed to advertise those tweets. Meanwhile, pro-life voices like Live Action, Live Action is the leading pro-life voice online. We are banned from doing any advertising of an opposite point of view from Planned Parenthood.
Lila, we only have 1 minute left. We're getting ready to talk to Brendan Carr, the FCC commissioner, about the president's executive order about Section 230, which you had mentioned. If this is removed, do you plan to sue these platforms?
Absolutely. And we've actually looked at our legal options. It's challenging because they enjoy the protections of, say, a cell phone company when they are actually picking and choosing between which voices get to be shared and which voices don't. So we would absolutely pursue legal options against them because it's flat out wrong to claim. It's one thing if they said, OK, we're publishers, we're going to pick and choose winners and losers in political or social debates. But they're saying that they're fair. They're lying to every user that uses these services, and Twitter, Facebook, and the rest need to be held accountable.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. And it's so interesting just to hear how this has all evolved, and we'll keep tracking with you.
Thank you.
All right, well, that gives us a lot to ask our next guest. FCC Commissioner Brendan Carr is joining us. He says that Twitter's CEO is weaponizing the company for his own partisan political beliefs. He's going to join us next to explain all of this.